Some of the biggest lessons in life I've known I actually learned from video games. This is an homage of the games that have had the most impact in my life and how they can actually help you too. Hey, what's up my friend, my name is Edgash and let's just do this. Dark Souls is a game that a lot of people love, but it's actually a game that a lot of people hate too. And a lot of the hate comes from actually associating Dark Souls with a perpetual failing screen. But I believe that if you can't see past that screen, there is actually a lesson to be learned there. And some of the confusion may come from people misunderstanding what's actually the point of a game. The point of playing a game is to not actually finish it. The point of a game is to actually just play it. To finish a game and be done with it teaches you nothing. But to play a game, to actually appreciate every little detail that it makes it interesting and fun and rewarding, can actually teach you a lot. And I have nothing against wanting to finish a game, of course, it's the goal of the game itself. But the goal of the player should just be to play the game as best as they can. And Dark Souls will teach you this if you let it. It will teach you to be patient about it, to be attentive, to recognize patterns, to slow down, and of course, to be resilient. And in return, it will reward you with an experience that is really complete. A beautiful story that is often about friendship, about sacrifice, about purpose, meaning, and acceptance. And yes, this is a game that is very close to my heart because it has helped me before, and it continues to help me keep my depression at bay. So I would say that if you never tried Dark Souls because you've been told that it's too hard, or you already tried it and you thought that it was too hard, I say try again. It may actually teach you something you didn't know about yourself or about the way you see life. Just remember to take it slow. That's the important part. Take it slow. Take your time to learn to play a new game. And don't get discouraged if you can't finish it the first time or the second time or the third time, or if you keep dying. That's not the point of it. Nier Automata is a game about philosophy and morality. It's a game that challenges you to think deep, but not to finish the game, but rather to think outside of the game. It makes you think about your life and the meaning of it, of what is actually to have a purpose and how to create one. And how this purpose and meaning can actually just be a cycle of good and bad. And while doing so, it actually teaches you about compassion, kindness, sacrifice and empathy, but not as an static thing. It actually makes you go through it. Since when you're approaching the end of the game and you are fighting that final battle, you may die over and over again, and messages from other players will start popping in your screen trying to encourage you to not give up. And if you continue, those same players that were encouraging you before, their ships join to help you defeat the final boss. And as they get shut down, you realize something. Those ships were actually those players' saved data from their own playthrough. And once that ship gets blown away, that data gets lost forever. But it's not something that the game actually forces you to do. Once you defeat the final boss, the game asks you, do you want to keep your saved data? Do you want to make progress? Or do you want to sacrifice it in order to become a ship that will help another player that you don't know and you may never know? Someone that you may actually never even consider helping, just so they can finish the game with you besides them. Minecraft is a very deceptively simple game, one that at first apparently it has no purpose, no reason why. But once I realized that it's a game to actually think differently, it switched completely. Minecraft is a game to go if you have that creative urge, that need of discovery and creation. It's a playground to be free in a creative way. Since it has no restrictions other than to just learn to play the game, you can do anything there. And if you ever get stuck, Minecraft has one of the most amazing communities ever. One that will actually continue to inspire you to create more, to discover more, because actually Minecraft doesn't teach you how to do most of the things. You have to discover them by yourself. There is quite nothing like Undertale. It's a game that teaches you what happens when you have kindness, or when you lack it. This game will actually show you to not fight, to have mercy on your enemies, and whether you follow that advice or not is actually entirely up to you. And whichever choice you make, you have to know that it will impact the game you're playing in. The whole world of it. Every single NPC will start either fearing you or just continue with their lives. Because one of the problems that some of these games have is that people actually start cheering you like, yay. And I believe that's not the point of kindness. If you're just kind to be like loved by others, then you're not really kind. And in that regard, I believe that this game is actually quite unique. It actually uses you only and exclusively only your curiosity to know actually how kindness impact other NPCs and the world around you. It's a beautiful experience because that's exactly how it works in real life, or that's how I see it. Final Fantasy XI is my favorite game of all times, and I could talk about it over and over and over and over again, but probably I will just do this one. Final Fantasy XI opened my mind to new experiences. It taught me discipline. It taught me to be patient. It was, I believe, that the first game that actually managed to taught me that failure was not actually failure. Failure was just a chance to try again. Dying in this game was just a chance to be stronger and try again. It's actually the game that taught me to be curious about the real world, about discovering new places, about traveling and meeting new people. Nowadays, Final Fantasy XI is a very different game, but when I started it was a really difficult game, where you actually had to struggle to fight to achieve anything, literally anything. It was closer to Dark Souls than to actually any other MMORPG. The lack of fast travel actually taught you to be attentive to your surroundings, to be careful where you were, to appreciate the little details of the landscape, something most other MMORPGs can't really do. And it made me so immersed into the game that I actually thought that I could feel the wind in my face when I was riding a chocobo, or the warmth of a bonfire in the Ronfaure forest. It's a game that made me experience the world, or at least an idea of what the world could be. And as a city boy, it's an experience that I could not get anywhere else. It was the first game that it actually made me want to go into the woods, to actually explore, to do so many different new things. And in the meantime, it actually gave me the tools to know that while it's hard to do something in the real world, like it was hard on Final Fantasy XI, it was still going to be worth it. It was a game that taught me to be better. And if you have experienced any game like any of these, please let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know what games you love and how they inspire your day-to-day, what they have taught you. And please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Until the next time, see you around, my friend.